about how to make money using astrology. Thank you for being here. Now imagine living in a world where you could work with someone who could be your supervisor, who's always going to lift you up. That's not far from reality right now. We're already very close to that opportunity becoming manifest. We just all get to come to this conscious decision to want to know others. When we get to understand and when we accept the fact that all we need to do is get to know other people, we'll become way more empowered. And that's the key. Okay? So, for example, say you're working at a job that you really like, and your supervisor doesn't really understand you. For example, when I was a little kid, I went to the Triple C's. My supervisor, he was a Libra, and his personality would always clash with mine. And I'm sure the rest of his chart probably clashed with mine also. But all I knew at that time, because I had just recently come to the realization that astrology is more than just your sun sign. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. Okay, I don't know much about astrology either. But I do know one thing, and it's that sun signs aren't all that there is. Okay, so his sun sign was in Libra. That's all I knew. And I knew I felt weird around him. Because I go off of vibes. I've always gone off of vibrations. I've always gone off of an energy basis that I can explain now. I would go off of how passionate someone is. How expressive that person is. I would go off of how emotional they are and how much logic they have. If they seem balanced to me, I would hang out with them. That's how I would judge people. I'm sure everyone has their own way of judging. But that's how I did it back in the day. Okay, and I still do it now because it's probably better than using astrology, just for the simple fact that you don't know what someone's past life had in it. You never know. People go through a lot of stuff, man. And those things can create trauma. And those traumas will bring you down if you hang out with that trauma. Like, for example, if you're hanging out with a crackhead. If you're hanging out with that person's gonna pull you down eventually. So you have to choose your friends wisely, and you have to choose friends that are up for themselves. Like, if that person, say, is in NA or something, that doing something to build themselves up, if they're reading books, if they're going through courses, if they're doing something to build themselves up, even though their past is really messed up, their present is empowered, and you can feel it through communicating with them. And that's how you make it. That's how you make it, dude. You gotta make sure. But simplistically wise, my theory with making money is, say you're an employer, okay? If you want people that you can be cool with, do it like this. Say you have a branch for a specific thing. Like, you have a branch for commerce, and then you have a branch for something else. You have a branch for product creation. Okay? So the head person of both of those two groups need to be compatible with all the people that they're telling what they're in control of. Okay? And also for the commerce, for both. Okay? For advertising and for commerce and for production. Okay? So commerce, the leader is gonna have to be, I would suggest, possibly, but it'll work either way. But I would say for commerce, that would have to do with communication. So I would say to pick someone who is more communication biased, someone who's more communication aggressive, someone who's willing to speak out and doesn't care about other people's opinions, someone who's like more aggressive, that vibrating at a higher frequency. Obviously, that's what you would want the first tier to be. The first person at that first tier, you would want them to be like either really aggressive, meaning a lot of passion, meaning a lot of fire in their chart, or a lot of communication and a lot of push, say expressiveness, a lot of say if I tell you to do this, a person that's gonna stand up for themselves and not let other people like push them around. Okay, and I'm trying to depict an air sign, how an air sign would be communicative. Obviously, in commerce, you need someone who's communicative. So if you have an air person, then they're going to be able to communicate with masses. Okay, and fire signs are going to be able to communicate with masses also, but it's going to be more so in an aggressive manner, which will be uncomfortable. So you have to balance those out. You can't have someone who's too aggressive, but you do need someone who's going to communicate. It's deadly important to communicate what you need people to do so that they can understand how to make money with you, okay? So I would suggest to have a person with a lot of air to communicate that, hey guys, this is a product that you want to check out. Dude, check this guy out. He's got a bunch of stuff. Blah, 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 right? And then that person would say be in charge of people in tiers, you know? Say having a person in charge of Instagram and all the other social networks, you know? And that person would also be similar with the other person, you know what I mean? So there's an expressiveness. So that when this guy, the main guy, that's the boss or the supervisor of the commerce side, he would be like, okay, dude, you have to do this today. And then the other dude would be like, okay, I have a lot of fire. No, wait, how do we do this? Tell me, explain it to me. I would say the person that's doing the work mostly would be more, I would say, okay. Think about it this way for me. Okay, we'll go this together because I'm new with this too. I would say it's important to communicate yourself, okay? So you have air. Air is really good at communicating, okay? My Mercury and Venus are in Libra, so I'm really good at communicating, okay? My Mars and Saturn are in fire signs, okay? So it's balanced out, so that would be what you would want to communicate with other people, I would assume. Someone who's balanced out. But my sun sign's in Scorpio, so that's a water sign. So that's like, okay, people are going to be weirded out by my perspective. Okay, just like me talking about astrology and money. Whoa, wait a minute. That's how I go, man. I'm the Scorpio, I go deep. That's what I'm doing. I'm going deep right now. So that might be a little uncomfortable for someone with commerce, like going into commerce, you know? So I would definitely suggest not putting a person like me in the grindstone, because if I'm say like in the grindstone, I might get a little confused because I might do something that's a little too deep and I might make people uncomfortable. I might advertise things that are a little too deep, right? But if say I had okay, so let's just say it this way. It's cool to have everything balanced out. So I have air, fire, and water, but no earth. So I need earth to be able to communicate with others, but I don't have any earth. So I can't necessarily communicate. So I couldn't necessarily go to work and communicate to people, hey, look at this. I can't necessarily do that well. I can do it, and I will do it. But I can't necessarily do it perfectly because I'm going to constantly fluctuate emotionally. But if it's for me, guiding my passion, my light, of course I can do it. But if it's for me guiding someone else's passion and their light into fruition, it might be more difficult. So I mean, I could for sure push people into doing stuff through my Mars and Aries, right? But not necessarily much else, you know? Okay? So I would have to be like more of a supervisor type of person because I wouldn't be able to go to work as much as I would love to for someone else. Because I personally feel like I deserve to like have my own perspective and have that perspective be respected. So that's how my opinion is about that. So you would have dominantly air and fire over here for commerce. Period. That would have to be that way. Okay? And then over here, you would have like earth and water for production. Because how is someone who's emotionally and like fired up, who's like expressive and fired up, how would you have those people get to produce something that everyone would love? There's no real communication there. There's kind of a mismatch, right? So you get people over here that are more emotionally stable and mentally grounded. Okay, so you have people over here in fire and air types of people with commerce that are like, hey, you know, I'm firing everyone up. I can do that. Okay? So yeah, I'm firing everyone up over here. So yeah, the more fire and air for commerce, the better. The more earth and water for production, the better, in my opinion. Because you have earth and water signs that are way better at nurturing than anyone I could ever imagine. I couldn't imagine anyone else being more emotionally understanding than, say, a Scorpio, a Cancer, or a Pisces. They go really deep, man. And it's really easy to learn to appreciate that type of personality. So, yeah, there's a lot of conversations over here that wouldn't really necessarily match up with the conversations over there, because these conversations are a little too aggressive and these conversations are a little too passive. So they're two different lights working in the same structured environment. So you have this business, right? And you have people producing stuff and people doing commerce. So those two people would never really interact with each other, but they'd get all the good vibes from everyone who's learning about what they're producing, whatever that would be, right? Okay, so starting off, you obviously need a flame and you need air, right? You need to be able to express yourself, and you need to have that passion, that fire that's going to lead you to your life, the life that you want, okay? So those are extremely important when you're starting off. So if you're starting off with a business and you don't have shit, like yours truly, anyways, you would want to, yeah, have a lot of aggression and a lot of communication skills, okay? And even closer to home, my wife, her planets are earth and water mostly. Aside from her big three are like mine. She has Scorpio, Taurus. Not Scorpio. She has Taurus, Gemini, Leo, right? So she has the same big three as me, aside from Scorpio, right? I'm Scorpio, she's a Taurus. But she's way better on the nurturing side, and I'm just stepping into my expressing side. And it's fun. It is really fun. Sometimes it's a challenge because of emotional trauma that I have from my past, but it is so damn fun, okay? Now I know that the home I'm in is going to become more of a blessing. I'm going to get a bigger home. I'm going to get all this other stuff. I don't have to worry about that. I don't really ever necessarily have to worry about paying the bills. I don't necessarily ever have to worry about where my money is going or anything like that, because my wife handles that stuff because she's more stable-minded. My mind frame isn't necessarily stable, but I will talk your ear off. And I will get you to understand how important something is to me so that you can develop that importance for your life so that you can develop too. So, become more of who you are. Know who you are. Here's another tidbit for you, okay? Check it out. So, earth and water signs, they're going to have more of a tendency to want to create things in solitude. Earth and water signs tend to do things in solitude. Okay? Like, for example, making blogs. What else? What else do people do in solitude? They can make blogs, they can make websites, they can do all kinds of other stuff. Make websites, blogs, make movies, which I would love to do. God damn it. Anyways. But it would take so long. And then my focus, it wanes. But if I'm passionate, it doesn't necessarily wane. It does, but at the same time, I still have that main focus fire, so I'm fine. Okay? So definitely focus on what you can do. Focus on that, and learn who you are. Because I would have never expected to be really like who I am. But now that I think about it, Aries Mars, very aggressive, not big on having authority figures. Not big on that. Okay. Sagittarius, Saturn, very good at communicating to others. Very good at communicating philosophy. Okay. Mercury and Venus, very good at balancing out relationships. And then recently just found out that I have 16 in my karmic debt, right? And so that means that in my past lives, I treated people wrongly in relationships. So I'm rectifying this, and I'm trying to build up something positive for my life, for my family, for my kids, for my wife. I'm trying to help her to feel more loved. And that's it. You know, it almost feels like my main goal in life. Okay? I'm not really sure how that's gonna work out. Seeing as we're so yin and yang. It's very intimidating. But it's inevitably going to help. Whatever I do is going to help because I want it to. And being able to step into myself recently, right? Because I just found out about birth charts. Being like, okay, I don't like authority. Normal jobs suck. I can't have them. Okay? That makes me feel good. Just stepping out. Standing in my own light. Even though it's scary as all shit, I'm just standing there with nothing. Hey, look at me, nothing, I have nothing. Well, what are you gonna do with your life? I don't know, look at me, right? Sucks, man. But there's this light inside of my heart now that's like, dude, you are the storm. I am the storm, you know? I am all my stress, all my struggles, all my fears, all my doubts. I am that. So it doesn't become me. You know? Yeah. So you guys are amazing. I hope you're enjoying your now, and blessings. And thank you.